shareable link. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes to come over here, and we will see how this goes. We're already off to a fun start. All right, so I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes to come over here, and we will see how this goes. We're already off to a fun start. Video detail. All right. Audio seems super low. I think I can fix that. Yeah. Audio seems super low. How about now? I think I can fix that. That might be too high now. This might be perfect. It's very clear, seems super low on my speakers. How about now? That's funny. I can, that might be too high now. We're getting, this might be perfect. Return. 5 by 5. All right. Rad. Well, let me share this link out to the tweeters, and then we'll go do some stuff. We'll make some things. We will fight the Freecad fight. Do. All right. So we'll give it a minute for everybody to come in, but I'll show you guys the torture test that I devised for this. It looks like that, and when it's cut in Fusion, it looks like that. So this was, I just cut this a little bit ago. It was super quick just to like get a baseline. In Fusion, this takes about 3 minutes to cut everything. And that is on this version of the milk crate, which my daughter jokingly calls the milk crate-inator, because it's got this cool fully machined plate here. It's got lots of aluminum parts in the Z-axis, and it's got this big old spindle here. So it's a little bit more beefy than most of the milk crates that are out there. But I decided when I built this one that I wanted it to be the machine that I wanted and not necessarily the machine that everybody else would build. So, but this one is quiet enough for me to run in the basement while everybody is asleep. And it is strong enough for me to really push hard and start playing with this CAM software and know that it's not the software that's holding me back, or it's not the machine that's holding me back. It might be the software, it might be the procedures, it might be whatever. So for all of these streams, I have like 10 million of these plywood coupons from a project that I made a few months back. They seem like perfect candidates to make the torture test with. So I designed the torture test around this shape, which is like 150 by 70 something this way. It was the inside of a pocket. And so I gave it a lot of features. I gave it like some engraved text. I gave it a lot of holes that we can do different operations to clear out. The inside of this pocket, if you contour it, should fit nicely on the inside of this. And I haven't proven that because I actually screwed this one up while I was programming it. But we will try it. These have different strategies that we can attack it with. And I can't remember how to navigate around in Freecad. So that's going to be the first thing we figure out, is I don't remember how to rotate. There it is. So this has a pocket of different depths. This is a single width slot. This is a double width slot for an 1/8 inch end mill. And this text barely fits an 1/8 inch end mill. In fact, in Fusion, it didn't fit the 1/8 inch end mill, and I had to lie to it and tell it that the end mill was slightly undersized to get it to fit. So we'll see how this works. And I've already been asked by some people to add some 3D features to it and some engraving features to it, and we can look at that in the future. Absolutely not. I did not redesign it in Freecad. So I imported this from a step. And you know, that's simply because I just wanted to focus on the CAM. I didn't want to fight the modeling stuff. And when I made this, I made a step, an IGES, and a DXF. So the goal is that we use the same 3 files for all the CAD softwares that I try. And you know, depending on the strategy that the CAD software is built around, like if we're going to look at something like Carbide Create or Easel, we would need to use the DXF file. If we were going to do anything that's 3D wise, we would do a step file or an IGES file. This one actually has some interesting problems in it. This feature here doesn't actually connect. And the same, how did I get that to rotate earlier? Was it a right click and a shift? Yes. The same with this one. So when I was trying to figure out a way to make this text work right, I was just kind of pushing and pulling these surfaces around and making them bigger. Talking with my hands and the camera's like way up. making them bigger and trying to just like get it to recognize it. And in the process, I disconnected those surfaces. So I'm curious to see how the path workbench deals with that, because there's no way, we're going to get a little teeny tiny end mill in that, or an 1/8 inch end mill in this little tiny slot. I'm really curious how it'll deal with that. So, yeah. I feel like everybody that was gonna come over is probably here now. There's still some waiting on the old link. That's funny. Whatever. Let's see how this goes, because I'd like to sleep tonight, and I'm sure you guys would too. So, first things first. The idea of this stream was that I had never used any of these CAM systems before, but I have experience with a lot of different CAM software. But in this case, it's kind of a lie. I have used the Path Workbench in the past with version 0.17, and there has been significant changes to the Path Workbench since then. So I have an idea of what I'm getting into, but I don't know what I'm getting into, if that makes sense. So we're going to find out. So first things first, Freecad's based on all of these different workbench ideas. So in this drop down that lets you do all kinds of different things, from mesh repair, and this is tech drawing. So this is like if you wanted to put out prints. Part and part design are interesting. Part design is sketch based, kind of like SolidWorks. Part is Boolean based, kind of like some other software like Tinkercad. Ray tracing is real cool. I've never used the reverse engineering bench. That's new. And the robot bench is something I've always wanted to play with, but I've never done. So let's go to the Path Workbench. Currently selected unit schema, standard millimeter, kilogram, degree. Does not use minutes for velocity values. CNC machines require a feed rate to be expressed in units per minute to ensure correct G-code. Select a minute-based schema in preferences. For example, metric, small parts, CNC. Okay. So this is the first of many interesting things we'll point out. A lot of you guys are probably used to metric feed rates from lasers or 3D printers. I design in metric, but I do all of my machining in inches. I know in my head what 100 inches per minute looks like travel-wise. I have no idea what 2,500 millimeters per minute travel-wise is. No clue. Absolutely none. So, whenever I'm in Fusion, I always, thanks Adam. Whenever I'm in Fusion, I always, I have my CAM units, my manufacturing workspace units set to Imperial, my design workspace units set to metric, and I know I'm not alone in this. So we will see. Also, this is hop tea, not beer, so I don't know if you can drink on the internet or not. I can't remember. But anyway. Okay. Let's go to preferences. And units. Feet. Inch pounds. We'll see what that does. It was, responding fine, I guess. Okay, so the first part of software discoverability, right? Where do we start? I have a pretty good idea of where I need to start, and it's probably making tools. So, tool bit doc, job. Sure. Oh, new folder, tool bitter. Subdirectories, bit library shape. Yeah, sure, you can create those. Copy example, even better. Sure. Look at all this. Okay. So we're going to use tool 1 for everything, which is I'm going to change into a 5mm end mill. Let's see if we can figure out how to do that. Or a 3mm, 3.175mm end mill. Okay, 1/8 inch is 3.175 millimeters. The length is 16 millimeters of flute. So 5. And it's a single flute. I don't know if it needs this chip load value. We're going to find out. We'll say OK. Close. Okay, cool. So that worked somewhat like I expected. And then it always seemed like the path workbench has kind of followed the setup mentality, kind of like Fusion does and some other bigger CAM packages. And I don't know if that's this job thing. Make sublinks. If any of you have actually used this and want to give me hints, I'll take them. And I'm not an old person, but I'm running a high DPI monitor and it probably hates the fact that I'm running that. That's why everything's ginormous. Okay. I see what we're doing here. Well, let's look through these tabs one by one. Do they have docs you can reference? Yeah, they do. And they have a pretty robust changelog that I can reference. But who does that? Who reads the docs? Who does the changelog? I mean, honestly. Yeah. And truly, having to read the docs kind of defeats the purpose of this. We're looking at discoverability, like how easy it is to fumble through the software. I have enough of a basis to know what I'm looking for, so we'll see. We'll say test 1 models the torture test. Output. Okay, cool. Get my little chair here. Okay, so anytime you have CAM software, we have two make the cam output turn into something. Yeah, it'll be interesting if we hit that point. Thanks, Brendan. That's good. Okay, so anytime we are creating code from CAM and sending it to a CNC machine, we have to send it through something called a post-processor. And basically all that does is it takes the output of the CAM and it turns it into a language that your machine can understand. The controller that this is running is based on Gerbil, which is really straightforward. Looks like they've got quite a bit of cool post-processors here. Just interesting. Right now we're just going to use the Gerbil post. I'm using G54 for my coordinate system. Order by fixture is interesting. I wonder if we can we do multiple yes. Interesting. So G53 is global machine coordinates, so there would be no offset applied if we were moving around in G53. G54 is when you tell it like work 0. So what I have set up in here in the machine is, you know, right here is machine 0, but it's also my work coordinate 0. And I did that to kind of just like place this in the middle, but also to put this in a fairly repeatable spot without having to spend a lot of time on it. And so G54 0 is right here. But if I wanted to run multiples of these parts, say they were oriented this way, I could have G54 0 here, G55 0 here, and G56 0 here. Have 3 of the parts, but only run the program once with those new coordinates. It's cool that you can output all this. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so in this next one, it wants us to define the stock, which is the material that we're cutting away. I like the idea of extending the model's bounding box. In Z, I have no extension. I modeled the thickness of the stock, but in Y, we'll say 10, 10, and same for X. Huh, there's a chip in my 0 button. That's why that keeps happening. Oh, it's not even a chip. It is an Ethernet wire. Oh no! Oh no! Crap. There it goes. Okay. We gave it a lot of zeros though. Okay, so that's kind of in the middle. And then next we need to tell it where, I'm guessing we need to tell it where XYZ 0 is. So that's what this triad guy is. Set link stock and model. I would like those to be clickable though. You know, that's probably fine. I would like to figure out how to move where this lands. I thought you're... I'm using a laptop keyboard, Rick. That just happens to be full of Ethernet wires from making an Ethernet cable earlier to try to make my internet suck a little less. Doo-doo. Save height offset. Oh, neat. Okay, so the start depth, final depth, those are variables. Operation tool diameter is equal to step down. That's interesting. So there's like an old rule of thumb that you should always go 50% of the tool diameter for step down, and that is an awful rule, especially with routers. Having it equal to the tool diameter is a decent rule of thumb, depending on the material that you're running. For wood, I would absolutely run an 1/8 inch tool, an 1/8 inch deep. I would run it deeper. Aluminum, that's a recipe for a broken bit. So we're going to look at how that gets set later. We have no coolant. This clearance height and safe height. Clearance would be how high it moves between operations or like between repositions. And safe height is how high it would move between... No, maybe those are opposite. Maybe safe height is between movements and clearances between operations. We'll see. So I will be, Rick, I truly want everybody to mess with me during this stream. So, you know, make fun of me all you want. For serious. It's more fun that way. I will be using a different program to stream the G code. I will be using CNCJS. This was the test program earlier, and hopefully it's still connected to my machine. It looks like it is. So, yay. Okay. Okay, I would really like this thing to not be there. I wonder if I can... Ooh, okay. I clicked a thing and buttons lit up. That was not intuitive at all, Freecad. Just like, you know, if you're watching, I'm gonna say set origin. Yeah, okay. That is exactly where I wanted the origin to land. And a lot of times I would program off the top of the part, but in this sense, since I want to run multiple parts of these and I want a really consistent position, programming from the bottom, which would be the spoil board, makes it pretty easy to deal with like the Z height and everything. So I'm going to leave that right here. I am never going to figure out the navigation on this. Okay. Tools. Add. 5mm in mill. I bet this is the one that I made earlier. It is. I don't know why that didn't change the file name, but we'll figure that out later. I don't want that default tool. I want that to be tool number 1. I don't know what feed H and feed V would be. Horizontal, oh gosh, seriously? Okay, pretty much all these operations I programmed earlier 80 inches per minute, which is plenty fast and plenty reasonable. So yeah, and the feed vertical, that would probably be our plunge moves if I had to guess. So like anytime we're like drilling or entering the stock. And this is really soft plywood and a strong spindle, so we'll call it 40 inches per minute, or if that's in millimeters per minute, I'll have to go back and figure it out. Hey, John. You guys having fun yet? I was really hoping that everyone would pick Kirimoto or SheetCam. Kirimoto because it's easy, and SheetCam because I really want to play with it. But no, you all picked Freecad. All of you, everybody, except for 2 people who like me. I really wanted this first stream to be easy. Okay, cool. So now we have a job set up, and look, all these buttons lit up. FYI. Yeah, navigation styles. Let's see. I think Blender was the one. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right. Blender makes it move around like I always set up my Fusion to move around. So, cool. Okay, so first things first. Yeah, John, it does look super easy. That's why I wanted it to be the first one. It doesn't look good. Let's be clear about that, but it does look easy. Okay, so we're not going to do a facing operation. We will do a drilling operation. We will do a pocket. We will... Oh, wait. Hi again. Let me put my face down there because nobody needs to see down there right now. Okay, pocket shape, profile shape. Okay, so we'll do a profile. We will do a pocket. We will do a drill. Let's just go ahead and do the drill. All right, so that's going to be our drill. Let's turn on pecs and see what that does. Pec depth. Sure, that makes no sense at all, but whatever. Oh, look at all this. So these are all holes that I'd identified. That's kind of cool. I like that. Phone's talking to me. Retry. We don't need base location, depths, start depth, final depth. Ooh, red text. That always feels good. Heights, operation. Apply. I didn't want it to do all that. Hey guys! I like how everyone shows up after they put their kids to bed. That's exactly my plan. Retract depth, heights, depths. So, op final depth. Oh, 0. Look at that. Okay. That's also not intuitive. All right, base geometry. So I only want that very first hole, the 3.175 hole. The rest of these I want to do other stuff too. So I think if I decheck these or deselect these, apply, okay. Look at that, I have a hole. What happened? Why? Uh, okay. I guess we'll try the drill again. Base geometry, doop, doop, doop. Doop, doop, doop. Base location, depths, 0, okay. Heights, meh. Apply, okay. Okay. I don't understand why it's in the middle there now. Okay. Moving on. What does this do? Helix. All right. Okay, now it's back in the right place. We're Freecad. Base geometry. All of those. I want to do, well, I don't think I want to do the 15. Or the 375. No, I like this computer and it needs to stick around for a little while, Josh. I can't office space it. Okay. Step down. I don't know where it got that op final depth defined. Was that in the setup? It's not right, and I don't want to change it for everything. Coolant outside. So basically, this is a bore operation in Fusion 360. This is how I would handle making these holes in just about everything that I could figure out how to do it in. Where just helix is down. I don't like that it's doing this like inner step over and like trying to pocket it, but I'm not going to fight it right now. I am going to make the step over bigger. Extra offset. Why? Why does it keep jumping the part down? Whatever. Default values. Final depth. Final depth. Well, where did this come from? Is this what's defining it? All right, let's see what that does. Okay. Next, we will do adaptive engraving operations, 3D Pocket. Let's see what 3D Pocket does. So in Fusion, what 3D Pocket would do is it would let you just kind of be like, I want to do a pocket in this general area, and it would figure out all those depths for you. Please select face from a single solid. So we're going to select that and that. Yeah. And that. Nope. And that. Aha. Base geometry. So I definitely don't want my final depth to be 0 there. Whoa. Okay, so it figured out this text pretty well, I think. But it didn't like sheen it on the bottom. There's a lot going on there. Ooh, okay. So these two. Oh, it did what I wanted. Well, did it? No, it didn't. Because it only did the inside of this. Why did you only... Okay, so we're not going to mess with that for now. Let's see what adaptive does. So we'll do base geometry. And we'll do these two. I'm not going to extend anything. Heights, operation. Fairly aggressive helix N. Again, it's only doing this inside. And it's ignoring the floor. I don't want to tell it the final depth. I want to click a floor. Okay. So it's interesting that it seems like all of these operations are derived from that job feed and speed. So they all have the same feed rate, which is not what we want. Pocket shape. The pocket's cool. It's got these different patterns that we can run. Okay. So it like Pocket defined the rectangle this time, but ignored the... Okay, so we can't pick surfaces as the depths. Sure, whatever. I don't even remember what this was. Tools, measure distance. Can I not measure? Okay. Three millimeter. Okay, and then measure. I think this is 4 millimeters, if I remember right. So we'll do the final depth of this is 3 millimeters. Ooh, what is that? 9.7. I really feel like I should just be able to select that because it's okay. So that looks like it's doing that right, but so now this pocket's going to leave scallops behind. So we'll have to go back through and do a profile operation on the inside of that. I'm curious what offset does. That looks a little better. So let's stick with that one. And we'll do a 75% step over. And it moves the part over again. Oh, for those that have never used Freecad, save often. Do. Base geometry. Add. So it did the contour on the outside. Oh, cut site outside. All right, inside. So it's annoying that I picked this floor to define the profile, and it was like, hey, I don't care that there's walls there. Okay. We'll do... Okay. Tasks. Okay, so we'll do it. It's still showing the toolpath preview. That's annoying. Okay, so we'll do an adaptive thing for this floor. Depths, final depth. There's gotta be a way to define that floor as the final depth, I feel like. So 12.7, 5.7. So that's 7 millimeters deep at that point. Heights, clearance height, operation clearing, cut region, coolant, step over. I wonder what accuracy versus performance does. It cut all the way outside. That's interesting. Whoa! Good job, Freecad. That is exactly what I wanted. Cut region inside. Apply. Oh, it is defining off that face. Okay, that's the problem. No wire data returned. Add. Yeah, John, thank God for the preview. But what you'll find out, and what used to get preached to me all the time, is the preview is not the code. And so if your post processor creates erroneous code based off of your preview, and you don't check that, all bets are off. You know, luckily we have a machine here that like literally can't hurt itself, but when you're doing stuff on a expensive 5-axis mill or something, you really have to pay attention to that. And that's why they have software out there that like backplots CNC code. A lot like the G-code previews that like when you load G-code into Simplify 3D or the Prusa Slicer G-code preview, same idea. Okay. Man, we're not even like a quarter of the way through this part. That is wild. All right. Okay. So we're gonna like run through a lot of this just to get it done so we can actually see something cut. Copy, simple copy, array. Creates, I want to try this again. So we'll do add. Depths, final depth. Oh yeah, that was the problem. Cool. All right, that worked. Okay, so I think what I did. Yeah, the OpenBuild's G-code sim is another good example of that. So I think what happened before and what's happened a couple times here is I actually forgot to hit add. Or maybe I did hit add and didn't work. I don't know. But that seemed to work that time. That 3D pocket thing is still going to leave scallops behind. So let's do a quick contour pass. Base geometry still has those. Depths, final depth. I think those are 4 millimeters deep. So what? 8.7. Apply. These warnings give me tons of faith. We'll do a profile pass for both of these floors. This is an interesting test because this is the exact width of the end mill, and a lot of CAM software doesn't like to deal with it when you just define the floor. They want to do a slotting operation or something like that. So I'm really curious how this goes. Depths 8.7. I almost wonder if the feed rate thing, like, I almost wonder if they're intending you to have a different job for every different feed rate you would want to do. I can't imagine that. That seems so unintuitive. Process holes, process circles, process perimeters. There's compensation. Let's see what this looks like. Wow, okay. It did the thing. All right. This will probably not have like a clean edge. Amount of extra material. Okay, so that's like stock to leave. Let's see what that looks like. Is this enjoyable so far? Were you guys like having fun? There's 11 of you watching. That's honestly more than I thought would join. So, yay. Okay, so we've got these triangles, this box thingy, and the text. Let's do 3D Pocket for the text, because it seemed to like that last time. Clear it all. So for those of you that weren't here earlier, I was really curious how the text would get handled, because when I was modeling it, I ended up adding these gaps in on accident, and they definitely shouldn't be there. And Fusion really didn't like them, like not at all. No, you're not having fun, Rick. I mean, I could get drunk on stream, but that's no fun. Nobody likes to hear drunk Joe program machines. Probably have a dog somewhere. If a dog would be more entertaining. Okay, so we'll add the text. It's neat that it defined that all as one face in here. It makes sense since it highlighted it all, but we'll see. Depths, final depth. 3D Pocket seems to be the only thing where it like takes the bottom of the pocket as the finished depth, which is what I really want. Height, safe height operation. Let's just see what happens. Okay. Yeah, and it like put it right where I would want it to be. Ew, that's ugly. Look at that. Look at that path. Can you guys see that? It's like, no. Okay, whatever. There's no reason for this. Like, these are the same width. Those are defined the same. What is it? Whatever. Okay. You know, whatever. Let's see what it does. Okay. And then active state of the operation. Ah, sweet. I can make all of these go away. So I'm curious how good this can get, because they recently introduced wrapped fourth axis operations, which is something that the Fusion 360 manufacturing extension took over, which is like $800 on top of a pro Fusion 360 license. So I'm curious if you can do simultaneous fourth axis programming in this and a few other things, but I don't have a fourth axis for my mill or for the milk crate, so it'll be hard to test. But I do have a Pocket NC over on the bench that a good friend's letting me borrow. So, you know, maybe, I think hitting the spacebar will also toggle the ops. Heading out for now. Thanks, ModBot. I appreciate it. And yeah, hitting the spacebar totally toggles the ops. Yes. So Rick, you did see a var and global change for the finished depth, but it's a global. It's not like I selected the face and I want that face to be the depth. So maybe I missed it. I would totally spec simulator. Sets instead of having. So alignment, origin, rotate. So I set the final depth to 0. That used to be a variable of op final depth, and I set it to 0 because it was setting everything at like 5.7. Maybe that has something to do with it, but I feel like it should be use your model. Yeah, I would think it would use the model too, and that's what I was kind of looking for. Force inside out, stop processing, step over, side. Yeah, there's definitely something I'm missing, I feel like. So, you know, it's the internet. Somebody might watch this and tell me I'm wrong, and I hope they do. But right now, we will continue going. I did turn it off and turn it back on, actually, Joe. I did. So, Rick, the origin is where the entire job is defined from. So the entire job is defined from this little purple ball here, which on the machine is the bottom corner right here. So, but you know, each operation has a different final depth that we need to define. So okay, all right, so we have 2 operations we still need to do. We need to do these triangles and we need to do this guy. So base geometry for this. I'm really curious if I can. We haven't done anything where we've selected sidewalls yet. We haven't done anything where we selected line geometry yet. So let's see what that does. Can I add that? Look at that. I can do edges. Cool. Just give up and we'll never talk about this again. Yes, I'm with you. So final depth. I really feel like, I wonder, what the hell? Whoa, okay. We don't want, What? Yeah. Yeah. Is anybody else's allergies trying to kill them? So I was really hoping that I could... Ooh, wait, what's this button do? Oh, there it is. There it is. This button right here. So if I select the bottom surface and I click this button, and it makes that thingy. I wonder if I... Whoa. What happened? Oh, 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 oh. Nope. Nope. There it is. So if I click this, that guy... Oh, there it is. This is why we're here. This is literally why we're here. To figure out this crap and figure out how hard it is and how intuitive or not intuitive it is to do. That was reasonably intuitive. A curious person may have said, "What's that arrow for?" before I did. I don't claim to be perfect. Oh man, that's great. I'll take it. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it's pretty close. Okay, so one of the things I really wanted to see is tabs. Tabs used to exist in Freecad. I know they did because I used them on the one project I've programmed in Freecad. But I don't see them anywhere. The UI is not awesome. Yeah, you know, it's better than it used to be. There are other software I know that have unintuitive arrows in plain sight that it just does not make any sense what they would do. So, you know, he who lives in glass houses or whatever, apply. That is on the outside. I don't want outside, inside. They're under some sort of dress up menu. Oh, are you talking about the tabs, John? Start point compensation. So I'd really like to see a way to do this as a helix down. I'm going to hit OK for now. And then I'm going to try to helix the same stuff, same base geometry. Reset. I don't want any of these, but I do want, okay, it doesn't like helixes for square things. Yes, the tabs, okay. So, oh, look at that, look at that, oh, wow. Wow, we've got dog bones, we've got drag knives, we've got lead in, lead outs, we got ramped entry. Guys, look at all this stuff. I'm a little shocked. I feel like the stream, it's like going to be 30 more minutes now. God, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna do that so I don't have to look up so high. Next stream I'm gonna have a new tripod where the camera's not so high, but also not like super low like it is with the other tripod. A medium tripod. Tag dress up. Ramp. I bet it's tags. because like that makes 0 sense, but it also makes a little bit of sense. I bet it's tags. Z depth correction. We're gonna do a ramped entry because I'm curious. Ooh, it does like this weird little zigzag dude. Okay. Oh, and I like if I hover over the arrows, it shows me the movement direction. That's neat. And then we're also going to do, okay, holding tags. See, it didn't make sense, but it does make sense. Because using the word tab, like every other software in the industry, makes too much sense. Okay, width, those are too tall. Angle 45, sure, okay. Okay, I could kind of see where they are if the stupid part wasn't in the way. Why does it do this, Freecad? Somebody tell me. I only want 2. That's plenty. There's actually a piece of tape holding them, but I really wanted to see how these turned out, what they looked like. Apply. Apply. Okay. Okay, so we've got ramped entry and dress up tags. Bridges, yeah, sure. It does kind of make sense. I really like the idea of dress up. Like, that's kind of neat. Axis map dress up, I wonder what that does. It's exciting that this does dog bones, because dog bones are like a paid add-on in some software now that didn't used to be a paid add-on. Like there's things that some software, software named after a specific operation you would do with a router, wink wink, it used to be a thing like that was just included, and now it's not, and it's annoying. Okay, I'm gonna play with these a little more. You know what? Let's do the dog bone dress up. Let's see what you do. Oh, cool. I wish it gave me some options in there, but yeah, it adds some little bloops out. All right. Okay. And then the last thing is we're going to do. I'm going to do a pocket for. Do I have to do the wall? Okay. Add extensions. I don't need to extend anything. Final depth is 0, so I'm going to leave it at 0. I wonder. Oh, maybe that was part of why I didn't see it before. I have to have something selected that makes sense to be a depth surface. All right. I'll take that. I want it at 0 though. Do climb pattern grid. I don't want any pass extension. Yeesh. That's a lot of lifts. I don't want that at all. What if I do adaptive? Base geometry, remove, clear. Adaptive was how I did these in Fusion, and I liked it. Add. Okay. Operation helix ramp oil. I want that helix ramp angle to be like aggressive. So let's make it hard. I'm sure there's some interesting things that we can play with in here that we're not going to right now. Finish profile, apply. Okay, didn't like any of the things that I did. Okay. Recompute fail. Shape is invalid. All the red text. Depths. Process parameters, compensation, apply. All right, we're just gonna leave it at that, and it's probably going to kick out some little pucky eyes, and I don't care. It'll probably be fine. I just kind of want to make something at this point because I'm tired. Okay, so turn all these guys back on. And then, you know what, before we do anything crazy, save. Stupid Freecad, you never know. Play. Why is stock to leave so difficult for my Fusion? What do you mean? I use stock to leave all the time. I don't understand why it only did those. And why it keeps moving the part down here. None of this seems right. Show. Earlier I got into something completely different and was able to hide that. I don't know what I changed. Inspect path commands, copy operation, toggle the active state. Oh. Interesting, okay. So it's not just spacebar. There's more to whatever this button does. Interesting. Appearance. Save this. Let's recompute the object just to see what happens. We'll do this cam sim. I kind of wish I could turn off the part. I can. Cool. Now, turning off the part in Fusion is something that I do a lot, so I can see what exactly the simulation is doing. So like, okay, this helix makes 0 sense. It left that little puck behind and then went back and machined it out. It should be an outside-in operation, or an inside-out operation, not an outside-in. That makes no sense. That is brutally slow. Brandon, you should get a better computer. I don't know why stock to leave would make it freeze up. Okay, that is just awful. All right, so let's start by editing this helix. Start from inside. Totally makes sense. Apply. And then that pocket, that profile, this adaptive. Let's make this way more aggressive. So let's step it over at 80%. We'll make that a 45-degree helix. That is super aggressive, but it really doesn't even need to be a helix. It could be a 90-degree plunge. Colin, this took me 10 minutes in Fusion, and here's the part, and it took 2 minutes to cut. I miss it hard. I miss it hard. Real hard. But this is giving me a lot of context, a lot of good information, depths. Okay. Apply. Okay. So look at how much more aggressive that is. So we plunge in, we do like a super deep swoop in and a big step over. So that saves us a ton of time. That pocket was pretty reasonable. So are those profiles. This text is going to be hot garbage. That will be funny to see. I wonder what I can do. Depths, step down. I want that to be like a 6 mil step down so it doesn't take forever. Same for these. Okay. This will probably all work, but the one thing that I really need to take a look at is the feeds and speeds for everything. If I remember right, they used to be in this property data, start point, inside, outside. I bet it is right here. Tools. Millimeters per minute. Okay. Get out a calculator, because I don't know how to do this in my head, at least on the spot. 80 times 4. So a lot of times I rally on people for getting mad at Fusion about removing rapids. And it's because, especially with a router, a lot of times your rapids are as fast as your cuts. So I'm cutting, I'm saying 2,000 millimeters per minute, which is about 80 inches per minute, and 1,000 inches per minute for my vertical feed, which is the same values that I'm going to put in for my rapids, because they're fast enough, especially with a little machine like this. They're basically going to be the same. So, okay, now, we can look at posting this, and then we can look at running it. And does anyone have any questions with like the madness that I just walked through before we move over to like trying to run it? Because I think it's almost there. Oh boy. Yeah, Colin, that is, oh, let me look at this code really quick, just like an idea. 621. Feed 2000 G21. Okay. That all seems reasonable. So it looks like it's on the outside or on the wrong side, because every time I'm out of the actual operation, it drops the part down to the origin, and I don't know why. But if I open any of these up, it moves the part back over. Yeah. I don't know, man. But let's see. So if we hop over to CNCJS, there's not a lot to go over here. This is a really bare bones G-code sender and G-code simulator. I haven't even really scratched the surface on what all you can do with it. I just know that I can home my machine with it, and I can send G-code with it, and it seems to be relatively safe to do. But if we okay. It's pretty cool. You can do a lot of neat stuff with it, but this is what my Fusion program looked like. And height selection. This is what my Freecad program looks like, and it's way different. Way different. But I think they'll both get me to a similar place. I think they both will make viable parts. We'll see. But yeah, let's upload the G code for the Freecad. the text is going to be so bad. Is it going to origin for each op? I think it is. I think it does. There's probably a way to make it not do that. But yeah, it does. I wonder, disabled, up tool diameter. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to make it more efficient, just like there was a way to select the bottom surface, but we're not going to get into that right now because we're pretty much there to like try to make something. So machines at 0, 0. Let me make sure. Cool. Machine moves, it's on still, that's a good sign. If you guys are good and don't have any other questions, we can see if this will run. Let's see if Freecad has a time estimate. Recompute. Path. Post-process. So there's a vcarve path that we didn't see. It's not in the menu. Oh, there's engrave, deburn, vcarve. I'll have to play with that. Path modification, supplemental commands. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, a lot of extra power. We'll have to have like an advanced one after I play with it a little bit. Okay, I don't see a way to do a time estimate on this, but based on the Fusion one, I would guess it's going to run anywhere from 3 to 7 minutes. Rick, I didn't see anything in Sim. It's like speed and accuracy. It's just a path simulator. Yeah, maybe I should take a second and let that run. Oh god, it goes to the origin every time. Oh, that's still so slow. Anyway, screw it. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go spin the spindle up. It's not that loud, so it shouldn't be too bad to see. What is cool is if I zoom fit, top view, 3D view. Okay, if I run this like this, you guys can watch the spindle go while also watching this tool go, and I think that is like ultra cool because I'm a nerd. Okay. Wow. VFD's got to turn on. That always takes a minute. Let her spool up. Okay. Yeah. Hold on to your butts. Unsupported command. zigzag path is not a good path, but whatever. You can kind of see how it left the little fingers behind, so we had to go do the contour. So that was that zigzag path dressing. I like that. I like that a lot. It appears to have just completely ignored my tabs. A little concerned for this to go because that has already cut all the way through. I don't know what it's doing right now. Are we doing this again? Oh, now it's dog boning. Okay. Okay, so for each path dressing, it did its another path. Okay. Okay, so Eric says the text turned out better than he thought. I think it turned out bad. The program has ended, but I can't. Weird. Okay. So, may jog the spindle up so I can get the part out. Kill this mosquito. All right. So for my little part press fit test, that fits in pretty good. I've never tried to make anything like fit together out of this machine, so that's cool. That's exciting. Okay, so the text looks bad. If we compare it to the Fusion text, where the text looks like text looks bad. Yeah, whatever. No fire Rick, nothing blew up. Let's see. The path efficiency definitely could work. I think swap video. Oh. I think the path efficiency definitely could use some work. There were some efficiency things in Freecad, especially in like the adaptive areas. Like there were lots of things like lift distance that we could play around with. We could start the keep tool down ratio was something that we could definitely make. No, I didn't select the perimeter, mostly because I only had one strip of tape down the middle and I wasn't sure the perimeter would stay on. And I'm glad I didn't, since it ignored my tabs. So we need to figure out what happened there. And hi, Billy. Let's see. Oh, yes. If you'll notice, it's missing a hole. This hole was a drill operation, and I got a message in CNCJS that said unsupported G-code sent. So I'm guessing it tried to do a drilling operation that like Gerbil didn't like or something like that. Not really sure. I will look into that after the stream. So the floors didn't clean up all the way on the hexes. Too bright. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Yeah, the floors didn't clean up all the way in the hexes. The square floor cleaned up well. I don't know. I think, like, I don't know, like final thoughts. This is a pretty workable cam system. It definitely has its flukes. I would definitely want to spend some time figuring out why it went back to the origin for every operation and how I could stop that. The efficiencies could definitely be better, but you know, if you were trying to make real parts and swap out, yeah, you're right, it is free. Hang on, I think. Yeah, I think it could get faster with practice. John, I didn't make a full camera thing. I didn't figure anyone would want to see my face that much. Yeah, I think you could totally get faster with practice. I mean, with anything, like, you know, I expected this to honestly take like 3 hours for the whole stream, and we're at a little over an hour after the technical difficulties at the beginning. So, like, yeah, I think it could be super workable. It's got V-carve functionality that we didn't cover. It's got fourth axis functionality that we didn't cover. It's got all kinds of tool libraries that we didn't talk about. You know, and those were just the things that I found. Oh, yeah, more for looking at the part. That makes sense. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Now you can see the floors. That's way better. Next stream, I should do a down-facing camera with a nice light for things like this. Yeah, there's a lot going on here, a lot going for it, and it didn't crash once, which honestly blows me away. That is not something that I expected, based on my past experience with Freecrash. So, like, good job, Freecad. I'm excited to play with this more. What was your last comment, Eric? No, yeah, the text did not turn out good. But, like, you know, it didn't turn out terrible, and honestly, to get Fusion to make the text the way it did, I had to lie to it and tell it that the end mill was smaller than the end mill was. So, like, in the end, figure out how to make the text pocket better, figure out how to make these floors a little better. You know, those are probably just different pocket strategies. Figure out why this hole didn't happen. That's a post-processor change, probably. And figure out why the tabs didn't happen. And I think that was just me misunderstanding how dress up worked. I added 3 dress ups to the path. I added the zigzag ramp entry, which I love. I love the idea of a zigzag ramp entry in a free cam software, because anytime you're using a compression bit or a down flute, you really want that ramp, that zigzag, and not a plunge, because then you make fire. So I love that that's available. Yeah, I could see using this. You know, I pay for Fusion, so I'll probably use Fusion, but I could totally see using this to make stuff. It's way, way better than it was 4 years ago when I used it. So, yeah, good job, Freecad. If you guys want me to do this again, let me know. I've got 15 cam softwares on the list, everything from easel to some weird esoteric crap. One that I really want to use, I'll show you guys. What is that? I don't remember what it's called. I wonder if I just search cam. Nope. One that I really want to use, though, is I totally have it installed on here. I'll remember it as soon as we're off stream. Anyway, it's really weird looking. It's like no cam I've ever used before, and it does neat stuff. And I'm completely lost on it. I want to play with sheet cam, which is a paradigm that's completely different than this. It's layer based and not feature based, but it's got a lot of really powerful stuff in it, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's like 150 bucks. We could play with visual CAD cam, which was a nightmare. I have opened it and tried to use it, and good God, was it bad. But, you know, whatever. That's part of why we're here. We could play with Kirimoto. Yeah, there's lots of cool ones. Half of them are installed on my computer, and I've never made stuff with them. The whole reason I built this machine was to do stuff like this, and I've never done it before tonight. So, yeah. Yeah, John's got it. Remember to like and subscribe. Ring that bell. It'll probably be Tuesday nights around the same time. So if this is a bad time for you, I'm sorry, but, you know, this is the right time for me. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. Thanks for joining in on the madness and keeping me entertained while I figured this out. I really appreciate it. I'm out, guys.